Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats, and it is enrollment season. So we've been updating and sharing our enrollment guide blog posts, and there's a link in the description of the video so you can read the whole blog post. Today we're featuring Promesa Academy Charter School, and they are in their second year of operation on the west side of San Antonio. So our guest is Ambika Dani, who's the founder at CEO Superintendent of Promesa. And Vika, I'm so happy that you're joining us on Charter Moms Chats.
We're really excited to be here. Thank you for inviting us. And today is Panda Power Day at Promesa. That is our mascot. So I decided to show off my panda headband.
I think that's amazing. The pandas are so sweet. And that was since Laura and I got to do a school tour earlier this semester, and we got to see pandas like in the student artwork and like in the murals and stuff like that. It's a very sweet
proud
mascot.
of it. It was a student chosen mascot, so they are very, very proud of their pandas.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Well, I feel like we're like continuing a conversation that we've already had, but I want to keep in mind that there are folks who are maybe hearing about Promesa for the first time. So I want to start off by asking you to talk about like the mission vision of Promesa.
Sorry, Inga. I think I lost you there, but I think we're back. Talk about the mission vision of Promesa.
Yes.
Yes. Well, our mission and our goal at Promesa is to really create a space where children feel loved and where children can grow and create every single day. And so my hope is that when children walk into our door, school is a place that they're excited to be at. And we see that. We see our kids running into our school. And then our goal is to challenge them academically, socially, behaviorally, to make sure that they're growing in each way and that they're engaged and they're learning about the world around them and they're excited to learn. So I think we're getting there, and I think we have kids that love being in school, and we're challenging them every day.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Okay, so I was wondering if you could share more about your journey from discovering that you love teaching and onto becoming a charter school founder. And I feel like I met you along that journey. I met you when you had just moved to San Antonio and were preparing to file the charter application.
Yeah.
And it's what a journey it's been. And then to open the school during the pandemic.
No one warned us about the pandemic when we said we were opening up in 2020, so that was definitely a surprise. I was a teacher for 10 years before I started the journey to start a school. I had primarily taught in private schools because I wasn't a citizen or resident of the United States yet, and it made it difficult to teach in the public school system. But as a teacher, that gave me a lens into education where I saw what was possible when there are no boundaries, where there is no red tape. And I saw, I think, some of the most beautiful, innovative models of education. Now, that was always a personal struggle for me because my heart is with educational equity. And I knew that being in the private school space, that was very limited in terms of what I could do. And so when I moved to San Antonio, it coincided with my being able to become a resident of the United States, and therefore being allowed to work in the public school system. And I said, what is my next step? And to understand that, I needed to do research into public school systems in San Antonio. And I did months and months of research about school districts in San Antonio, charter schools in San Antonio. I started to visit the communities in San Antonio. And what I saw very quickly was that, especially in underserved areas of our city, especially in lower income areas, there weren't schools that I would be proud to send my own child to. There weren't schools that were innovative, that were challenging students, that were creating a space where students were loved. And I said, I've seen what's possible. I have this great passion and desire to do more, and connected with the right people and organizations at the right time, and started this journey to be a school founder.
Yeah, and I know you've worked very hard to prepare for the school to open, and that like during your fellowship period you would visit schools in other parts of the U.S. and bring that knowledge. And I know that you while you were preparing to open the school, you worked very hard to get to know like the 78207 zip code and like which nonprofits were already operating and already had contacts with families in the community. And knew what families were looking for. So I know you really laid the groundwork to make sure that Promesa Academy would be rooted in the neighborhood where it's built.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was really important for me as not only just an outsider to the West Side, but an outsider to San Antonio to learn from people who have been here, who know San Antonio, who, this community is in their heart. And yes, we can come in with a vision for education, but if it doesn't align with the needs and wants and culture of the community, it's not going to be successful. So that was a really important part of our process and continues to be as we grow.
Yeah. So, I was wondering if you could tell more about the academic model of Promesa Academy, and the blog post has some information about this. And one thing I noticed when I on the tour was about how there's separate spaces for right the subject matter expert teachers, have their own spaces, their own classrooms, and that. Even at such a young age, children are
Yeah.
getting introduced to teachers who are really passionate about math or really passionate about reading.
Yeah, definitely. So it's unique to us and a few other schools and more common internationally. But it's I was a math teacher myself. I started teaching high school math, moved down to middle school, and my last school that I taught at, they gave me the opportunity to teach third grade, fifth grade, seventh, eighth, and 10th all at the same time. And it was beautiful seeing. I think the growth of kids over time, both in terms of their attitudes towards mathematics and their knowledge of the subject. And what I continue to see is that students tend to lose their passion and love for math at older grades. And as I stepped into the younger grades, it all made sense because we have elementary teachers who are burdened, I think, with trying to teach everything every day. They're not excited about everything they have to teach, they just have to do it. And I said, if I could teach elementary as a math teacher, solely, I would do it in a heartbeat. But if someone asked me to teach kindergarten and do everything, I would never step into that area. And I think that as a result, we've got really interesting teachers who bring that passion and knowledge to their classrooms every day. And the argument against it is, well, kindergartners aren't ready for that transition, but it's because they've never been introduced to that, right? They come to school in kindergarten and they have their home base and that's all they know. And then when it is time for a transition, that's a huge shock to them. But if they start in kindergarten with the expectation that, okay, you're going to your literacy class now, you're walking to your math class, and there's systems for that to happen and consistency, it can work really, really well. And it's worked both for the students and for the teachers who now don't have to prep 5 or 6 subjects a day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I could really tell from visiting the campus, like it's a compact campus, right? And like, the way the rooms are positioned, the kids don't have to travel far. And it feels like it's all part of a family that, yeah, like, and just like how the rooms are set up. And there's pictures in the blog post, so I want folks to go visit that. And but like everything is it's such a welcoming environment, and like there's fun stuff on the walls, but like in the literacy classrooms, there's these like just shelves full of books. There's like tables with books laid out, inviting kids to pick them up, and then these like really cozy like reading like cushions and pillows, and just like places where you just want to curl up with a book. It's like just very inviting and like creating that environment to celebrate reading.
Definitely. That's definitely a huge part of the culture we continue to build. We're very lucky to have a librarian who, brought the book fair to us even during the pandemic. We just finished our first book fair of the year. We have the Scooby Van coming in on Friday, tomorrow, to give out free books to our students. And we know that if students love reading and learn how to read really well at a young age, that itself is setting them up for success. So that's definitely a culture that we're going to continue to build on.
Yeah. Well, okay, so thank you for describing like the academic model, because I think that I think parents can understand like why there's be a benefit from having like teachers who love math teaching math, and like teachers who are passionate about reading, teaching literacy. But I was wondering if you could share it's like some like examples or stories of like how that's benefiting students, and just like how the school culture works at Promesa.
Yeah, I think the really unique part about having multiple teachers at an elementary level is that if a child is struggling behaviorally, socially, whatever it may be, you now have 5 different perspectives on that child. And you have people who can come together and say, this is what works well for this child in my class. and maybe you should try this. And I'm thinking of a particular example this year of a child that was really struggling in their art class. They loved literacy, they loved math, they could focus, they could, they were thriving, and they were good at art, and they had this belief that they weren't good in art. And as a result, that was a huge struggle for them. And we came together as a group, as a team, and we said, what's working? And we found out that this child really loves trains. And so, hey, we're going to introduce trains into the art class. We're going to let them work on drawing trains, coloring trains, and slowly build up that confidence that they can be a good artist. And that's exactly what we saw happen. We saw this child's attitude start changing towards art. But the art teacher may not have known that had it not been for the fact that this child also has a math and literacy teacher and a science teacher who are picking up different elements and different interests of this child. And I think that's what's beautiful, is that this child now has 5 or 6 adults that cares deeply about them and that knows so much about them. And that collaboration has been really key for supporting kids at our school.
Yeah, I was so impressed when we got to visit the art class. Like, I saw, again, pandas, the panda theme, right? But they're the students had made little notebooks, and of course they could decorate the covers of the notebooks. But it just seemed like something like it gives them some control over their world, right? They have their little notebook that they're putting stuff in, and I noticed that there was a sort of a tented area in the art classroom that was a place for kids, if they're getting overstimulated, and they can go there and have some quiet. That I could sense that like all the adults at Promesa are aware of what students have been through for the pandemic, right? Of like students having learned from home and then making the transition back to campus, and having to learn the skills of being a student on campus that they hadn't experienced or hadn't learned sort of in the usual timeline that a lot of students haven't had a normal school experience yet.
Yeah, no, a lot. I think we have, first graders this year who have never been in person to school, and that comes with its own set of challenges, because first grade teachers are used to not having to reset all of those expectations. But as a school, we follow a program called Conscious Discipline. It's more of a philosophy, and it's really, if a child is acting out, right, that is a call for help in some way. And as adults, one, we need to manage our own emotions in that moment, because our emotions can get in the way of how we deal with children. And after you do that, you try to identify the triggers, and you try to identify what is that child in need of in that moment. Are they in need of safety and security in that moment? And if they are, we provide that with them first, before getting to, okay, how do we problem solve and how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? Because if a child is acting out and you go to that child and you say, no, don't do this, or this is wrong, it's just going to escalate. And I think having that kind of grounded across the board, having that consistent approach to behaviors has really helped us understand kids, has helped us identify triggers and therefore make long-term change with some of our children that are struggling.
Yeah. No, it's a really difficult situation, but it can only be solved kind of one kid at a time, right? And sort of one problem at a time by listening, and the adults staying calm, and then like you said, try to solve that root cause that's triggering it, so it doesn't just keep recurring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if you could talk about like the sort of the facilities and like how things are laid out at Promesa, and then kind of how things are growing, because I know there's some open space around it, so there's room for the school to keep developing.
Yeah, well, we have an 8-acre site, and we've used about half of it, maybe 5/8 of it, and so the rest of it is basically set out to be our 4th through 8th grade. We'll be breaking ground on the 4th and 5th grade building soon, and then the 6th through 8th grade building in a year or two. But our buildings are centered around a courtyard, with the idea being to allow for a lot of outdoor learning experiences. Our courtyard is not nearly where we want it to be yet, but that's actually one of our projects with our Family Advisory Council this year. We're partnering with them to think about how do we actually want to use that outdoor learning space? What do we want to add to it to make sure that it's a beautiful experience for kids, for teachers, for our community? And then we have this beautiful outdoor pavilion and play space for our kids, and we're just getting ready to add in a new playground, which the kids are seeing come up and are very excited about. So it's just when we built our space, we said we want kids to walk in, we want them to be excited about school, we want them again to feel loved and cared for. And I think having the big glass windows, having sunlight coming in, we have a lot of yellow tones around our school to bring additional joy and happiness just in terms of the colors. So we tried to design a space that was reflective of who we are, and as we continue to build out, that's exactly what we think about. Like, who do we want to be, and how does the space reflect that?
Yeah, I remember visiting in the cafeteria, and then that's also where the book fair was. And
Yes.
thank you for letting us come and talk about charter school advocacy at the book fair. That was a great experience. And then like there's one wall that has a big mural, and it's like each section of the mural you can tell is like an actual child's drawing. It's not like some adult pretending to draw like a child. It's like actual like that, and it makes this. It's just and there's a picture in the blog post. I encourage everybody just click on the link. Check out the scroll down and see the picture of it. And I was so impressed by the way it's presented, the way the mural is presented. Like every child's drawing, each part of it is presented faithfully. That it's there's like respect for the child's vision. So it's so like if the teddy bear is like a little lopsided in the drawing, that there's a lopsided teddy bear on the wall. Like it's not because like this is it's like respecting and seeing things through kids' eyes, the way they see the world, and not trying to impose too much adult judgment and right angles on things, because that's not necessarily how kids see it, right? And that's not where their motor control is at. So so let's meet them where they are, but celebrate what they can create.
Yes, definitely. I think that the mural is something we're incredibly proud of, and it makes the space their own again, right? The school is not my school, it's not the board school, it is our school, and we say that all the time. We're a founding team, our families, us, and our students, and that was just one maybe more physical way of demonstrating this is their school, and they're building it with us. So we love our mural, and till today, kids will walk into the cafeteria and point out to their drawings, I drew this, and they know it's theirs because of exactly what you said. Our art teacher traced their drawings onto the wall, so that they continue to look exactly like their drawings.
Yeah. So maybe when they're like, high school seniors or something, they can come back and be like, I made that. Yeah.
That is the
idea. Yeah. Well, great. Well, I always want to make sure that hopefully families are listening to this and soaking in like, oh, well, this is really interesting. Like Promesa, like, I mean, you guys are still pretty new, in the charter school landscape in San Antonio. And so we're trying to raise awareness because, I really believe in what you're doing. And now I've seen it with my own eyes, like how happy the kids are and just how loving the teachers are, towards the students, and how appreciative the families are. Like the families I got to talk to at the book fair, like they were saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we found this place. And, our kids are really happy, and, and the kind of choices that you offer to kids too, that, you're still offering distance learning for the families who feel safer that way for the time being, but then when they are ready to come back, the teachers will be there to support them and, show them how to function on campus, and, how to transition between subjects, and how to express their feelings in constructive ways. All those things we have to we including adults have to relearn after the pandemic.
I was just gonna say, I think if there's like, we're a new school, and by no means do we think we're perfect. I think we have a grand vision, and we're going to continue to build towards it, partially because I don't think we can ever be perfect, but also because education has so much ability for innovation that we hope to continue to grow year after year. And I think part of what makes us successful and has made it successful for the past year and a half is that we have families that are so committed to our school, that are here every day volunteering, that give us really constructive feedback that we take and that we act on. So that trust and that partnership with our families has been really essential, and is truly a testament to why we're successful. And if folks are looking for a school that your voice feels heard, that you can connect to and be involved in, that's us.
Yeah. Well, I want to present like the how-to, right? So like how families can find out more about Promesa Academy, how they can get their kids enrolled. So okay, so I'm going to put the web address on the screen. So it's promesaacademy.org. And then, so what should families do to learn more, and then to apply for their children to go to Promesa?
Yep, lots of things. You can go to our website and learn more. You can give us a call. You can send us an email. We're happy to set up tours at any point that's convenient for you. And then our application opens for this upcoming school year on November 1st. So that is just a few days away, and we'll be sharing that on social media and opening up that application online. The initial application only takes a couple minutes, and then we do run a lottery the second week of February for our open seats.
Yeah. It is really something I strongly encourage families to do the tour, because like I felt like I had already done a lot of research about the school, and Beak, I've known you for a number of years now,
Yeah.
but to actually get to see the campus, and it was all the sweeter for having had to wait so long since I couldn't visit during the pandemic, and then like to actually get to see it, it really warmed my heart, and it just reinforced like my, I've had faith that you were onto something, but, and then I understand what you're saying about, wanting to keep improving, but I think you already have a good foundation, and the family engagement is very strong. Like the Family Advisory Council, I see the treats they bring for the teachers, and, and just the time and attention that they put into, being part of the school community and making things run as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, we're incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, are there any things you're excited about? Any things you want to share?
Sorry, that was my monkey. Anything I'm excited about for this year, for next year? Both?
Yeah. Either.
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of new things this year. One of the things that I've been really excited about is our after school clubs. We've had after school clubs that range from musical theater to roller skating has been our most popular after school club. We have a STEAM club, we have a rock painting club, and it's been really neat seeing kids explore different areas of passion. We had a ukulele club, and we saw our kiddos pick it up so quickly and then want to go home and practice every day. So that's brand new to our campus this year, and it has been so successful that we're excited to continue it. And then I think we continue to grow year after year, and this year family involvement is stronger. I think as a campus, like we're solidifying things that work really well, and we're tweaking things that need work. And I can see us making huge strides despite what I see to go still. So I'm excited about where we are, and I'm excited about continuing to add on a grade every year.
Yeah. Okay. So currently it's grades K through 3, right?
Yes.
And there are openings in some grades for the current school
We do.
year, right?
Our in-person second and third grade is almost full, but we do have open seats in kinder first, and we do have virtual open seats. And then next year we'll have kinder through fourth grade, and we'll continue adding on a grade every year. Our hope is to continue to grow all the way up to K-12. On this site, like I said, we have space until for kinder through eighth grade.
Yeah. Okay. That's really exciting. Okay. I'm going to put the website up on the screen again, promesaacademy.org, and the application is @/apply, but there's lots of great information on the website about like what electives the students get to do. And I'm really happy to hear about those clubs. I feel like that's something that was on the drawing board. You're like as you were preparing to open, right, you'd have like, I remember going to the math camp and things like that. But then now these things get to actually happen. Like you actually get to stretch and like build the school that you've been dreaming of for a long time.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Inga, for your time today, and thank you for helping us share our story and share more about our school.
Yeah, thank you, Ambika. Okay, I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.